Morning Diesel people, and today we're talking 124, and this is our latest customer's W124 build. And let me run you through a few things. Going from the front, we've got the bumper stretched a little bit to take the intercooler. We've got nice oil cooler hidden under there. It's got our very own 6-ply silicone hoses, which are really tough, and then obviously all the rest is hard piped. This one's been sort of left a nice gap to take the aircon radiator, which is nice because the customer would like to put that on at another stage. I don't get involved with the aircon system, so I said not a problem. I'll leave you the gap and you can do that. We've got new wishbones that we've put on, new springs. Obviously, wishbones come with new bushes. Why is the dog barking? Newton! OM606, quite tightly packed in there with the, we've got a custom 6-branch manifold, we've got the Turbo Smart wastegate. This one's running a nice Billet Borg Warner turbo. I'll show you the dyno results in this video, but it made just over 400 horse, so it felt really quite nice. A lot of the old yin 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 yin. And in this one we've also got the BMW 6-speed transmission, using one of my adapter systems. So yeah, BMW 6-speed gearbox, and this one has got the original, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in there, but it has the original BMW gear shift linkage from the actual E46 330, which is nice because if you can use the original linkage for the original gearbox, that's amazing, and it just happens to be the right length when coupled with my adapter. Obviously, if you'd cut and shut the bell housing, then everything would be much further forward and then the linkage wouldn't work, but you could modify that yourself. Stig welded.
Stig welded.
Stig, it's like a cross between TIG and MIG and stick. No, TIG welded 3-inch system. Nice flexi, just in the usual place. Obviously exhaust space is always tight on W124s. They weren't really built for this kind of thing. Custom prop shaft, as you can see, prop shaft is spaced back because this is a 320 model and that's how they are, that's from the factory. And as you can see, as we're going down the car as well, we've got new brake lines. The brake lines in the car were obviously knackered, everything in a W124 rusts, including the brake lines and even the glass rusts, because that's how rusted these cars are. We've put custom gear mount. Oh, that's something quite interesting for you to see. This is a speed sensor, which actually operates the speedometer. On a lot of cars, we will use a redundant ABS system or ABS sensor to take the speed feed for the Cable X speedo drive. The Cable X is like a small box that spins a cable, spins the speedo. We've got freshly powder coated subframe. We've got all the new subframe bushes, new bushes holding the diff. This is the largest casing diff available. The diff has not been rebuilt or refreshed or anything in any way. It's not got a limited slip diff in it or anything. The customer may upgrade to that in the future. We can see this is where the silencer lives. Single silencer in this one, which is more than adequate really for the with the turbo. That gives a bit of silencing. And yeah, I think that pretty much concludes the underneath. All new suspension arms, every single one of those is brand new. Which is really nice, so if you ever need to have any adjustment. Customer supplied some lowering springs. We took the SLS system out of this car because the SLS systems in these can be problematic when they get old. So that's a really nice factor. And yeah, so that sort of concludes the underneath. And let's have a look up top. See what it feels like. Just nice and steady in first. And then kill second. Yes! Kill third. Oh, baby! Oh. Them guys were like, what the fuck this? Who this? So here we are at the top end. Pop the hood. The satin black rocker cover that we've gone with. This is a powder coated option. Yeah, it is a little bit. We're still going to give it a spruce yet. And we've got the Borg-Warner turbo kit. You can see the 6-branch manifold, the downpipe. You can see on these right-hand drives how tight that downpipe room actually is. It is really, really, really tight when it comes to right-hand drive cars. We've got the anti-jerk pump on there, mechanical pump. Obviously it's a DieselPumpUK pump, which operates beautifully. We've just made 410 horsepower on the dyno with this setup, which is really fantastic. It's actually a little bit more than we normally achieve with this turbo setup, so that might be due to temperature or what have you. We've got the largest radiator that you can put in one of these cars. It's full width. This is the kind of radiator that you would have found on a W124 300D that had aircon. They had an extra wide radiator. And then you can see the room that obviously has been left for the aircon radiator, and the same with the aircon pump down the side. Nice bit of room left there. Put one of our little Billet water pump pulleys on there. Obviously it's a refreshed engine, so it has all the other bits and pieces, like it's got water pump housing, all that stuff's been replaced, all the external gaskets, new alternator, and all those other little bits and pieces, which is good. If you'd like to have a look inside, I'll show you where this cable X is, because we've still got the bottom section of the dash off. So just mounted underneath here, we've got two things. We've got this, which is your Dakota Digital DSL1, and that transforms the signal that's coming from the alternator to the rev counter, because this car used to be petrol, so it doesn't have the ring gear pickup like a diesel. And then this shiny black box just mounted above it, that is the cable X. That takes the signal from that ABS sensor we've fitted on the rear of the gearbox, and then it drives a cable just from there into the speedometer, and that's the part that's faulty, which we're waiting on a replacement for. Gear knob wise, we're waiting on the gear knob, but we've kind of made a nice sort of surround. This has got the original, well, it's a short shift, a BMW short shift linkage, and it is super clicky. Really, really nice gear feel. Reverse has the detent spring in these boxes as well, which is really nice. And it's just a really nice car. The interior is awesome. It's nice working on a nice 124. This actually used to be my car. I bought it to convert. It was going to replace the Sportliner Dreams, because it was a non-rusty example, but I never really got around to it. So it kind of sat there, and in the end I decided to sell the car, and the chap that came to buy it sort of went, oh, I want one of those engines in. And I was like, oh, I'm going to end up having to convert a car that was going to be mine anyway. So anyway, we went to town on it. Yeah, so it's good from tip to toe. It's almost complete. Just got to set the tracking up today and get that cable X sorted. Maybe put a few test drive miles on it, and some nice wheels. These are obviously just some old wheels that we've got outside, and she's good to go. I'm loving it. So you want to know what all that sound equates to? Well, here we go. These are a few runs that we've done, all very consistent, ranging between 409 and 419 horsepower, and that's the calculation rundown. The actual wheel power, 368 is the lowest and 378 is the highest today. Pounds feet, we went from 437 lowest, 452 highest. and the boost pressure was all pretty much around 2.2 bar. It's got quite a nice sort of spectrum of power for one of these kind of cars, and I'm really pleased with it. So there you go, buy yourself an OM606 and just like tear the world to pieces.